the Assorted Technology Bill, and I'm very grateful for Honorable Millie Odhiambo for introducing this bill. For me, first of all, I'd like to talk to address the cultural issues that surround this bill. Mr. Speaker, as you know from where we come from, even in the culture of the Luos, it was very stigmatizing and has been a real big problem when there's a lack of a child in a marriage in Luo culture. And basically, as my honorable said here, that it also happens in other countries and other cultures. But in the Luo culture, it was always assumed or presumed that it is the women who could not bear the child. And therefore, the burden of proof remained with the women. However, in those days, it was allowed for a woman, especially if it was a man, to be able to secretly be given the brother or the cousin to the husband to be able to have a child so that nobody could know in the home that the man was not producing. The other way around, the man was allowed to have another wife. However, the first wife, or the one who was not childbearing, would go through a lot of difficult times in that home. So, and also, that wife who could bear the child sometimes was allowed to be given the child of the second wife, or even she could bring the sister or the brother's daughter to get married to the husband so that she could give birth, and some of those children would be given to them. That is not in the case in these days. We all know that as we speak now, if you don't have a child, it is torment, and normally the blame is on the woman throughout. I therefore think and believe that this assisted technology would be able to support the women who are actually going through this, or the couples that have that. I'm a witness to Shakil Sabir's case, and he's my neighbor in Kisumu, and he has very beautiful children out of that, and I think that this, when used properly, could really help us culturally. On the other hand, medically, we all know that right now we have some of these rampant sicknesses like cancer that are amongst us here, and they come at an early age. We have those who get cancer even at 15, 14, 12. And mostly when they do this, they go through what you call gonadotoxic therapies. And these are therapies like chemotherapy, radiation, that actually destroy the sperm of the ovum. When this happens, these people will never have a chance of getting children. It is important to consider them. And in most cases, it would be fantastic if they could be able to have to get their eggs removed before the therapies are started, so that they later can be able to have children when they actually want them. So that is another fact that I think that medically is important. We also know we rapidly have something called endometriosis that really a lot of us women are suffering now. And these are some of the sicknesses that once you have, you are not able to produce. So it is important that medically we consider this technology to support those of us that cannot be able to get the children. However, I also agree, especially in the case of surrogacy. Having been in Europe, I noticed that there was a lot of issues that are now surrounding surrogacy, where those who actually agree to carry the child change their minds during the childbirth or after giving birth and saying that I now want this child, when they were just the carrier of this child from the other couple. So this couple tend to have to lose or long court battles that end up also affecting the child, and that really brings a lot of issues of how ethical, how good is it for the child who now suffers because of this. So I believe, like Dr. Nyikal, who is an expert, who has discussed with us on the laws, that some laws, and the laws must be put in place for us to ensure that people do not misuse this assisted technology, especially in case where they want same-sex children and all that, which I don't agree with. But then let us have it, and for me, I support this bill. Thank you.
Honorable Faith Gitau. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance. I rise on the onset to support the bill. Honorable Speaker, it is quite a sorrowful thing for a couple to desire children, but yet be physically and unable to be blessed with one. It is really stigmatizing. And these couples really need a lot of social support and a lot of love. There has been a lot of things going on around inability to bear children. There has been unregulated practices of organ harvesting. You know, we have a lot of quacks around here in Kenya who harvest organs, ovaries and sperms, and sell to desperate couples in need of children. And it is very sorrowful. It is really quite heartless for these people. And these horrific practices must be put to a stop. Honorable Speaker, I'm of the opinion that proper regulations on how to deal with matters of infertility and inability to bear children must be put in place. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I'm so delighted today to see this bill come up. And indeed, the use of assisted reproductive technologies must be put adequately and must be regulated. We know what happens around these technologies. Number one, they are not affordable. So we must make it affordable because there are couples who are suffering here in Kenya. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I rise to support. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Wilberforce Oundo.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. I didn't conclude consulting Dr. Nyekal, but I'll take care of myself. Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill that's before the House. And as another speaker has indicated clearly, this is not the first time this bill is coming to this House. I know it was here in the last term, last parliament. We were unable to conclude it. And I personally, Speaker, let me confess, I was a bit skeptical and I was uneasy about this bill. And when it was being debated on the floor of the House, I took a French leave deliberately because being a Catholic, being an African man, there are some issues we find it very difficult to deal with. But with the hindsight, when I went back, I discovered even the larger network of our family, we have ladies and we have men who have been unable to sire children, get children through the natural process. And obviously it forced my rethink to come and make a comment on this bill. The bill provides several solutions to a problem that has existed with us for many years. Since time immemorial, there have been infertility in human beings. Where I want to say where I come from, we have had a way of solving these issues through established networks that have left the moral fabric of the society intact. But I must admit, new times calls for new approaches, and we must deal with it. Honorable Speaker, in my community, when a lady did not have children, the stigma associated with it had a lot of moral issues and would cause a lot of stress. More so, but again, more importantly, a man who could not have children either, likewise, had faced even more scrutiny and public shaming more than anything else. Of course, naturally, we had a way of solving that problem, A man who could not have children and was married could contract, let me use the word contract,